All right. Well, he's back, ladies and gentlemen. The author of the Upside Down series is back for here on Macroaggressions TNT Radio. We've done it before, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Gober. Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm well, Charlie. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's always good to see you. I love your book series. It's such a smart idea, and you're up to 7 of them now. Is that right?
Correct.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, as somebody who writes books myself, I know I think it's like how women describe childbirth. Like, it's so painful, but there's something about your mind that just forgets the pain, and then you wind up working on another book, and then you get about 3/4 of the way through, and you go, "Oh yeah, I remember why I hated this so much. It's so stressful, and there's so much to do." But you seem to find a way to do it. What's going on with the new book, An End to Upside Down Cosmos? Oh baby, I'm into it. NASA, moon story, firmament, flat earth. I'm down for all of this. What did you learn while you were writing this book?
Well, this was not a topic I had been focused on until pretty recently. As we all know, more and more people are asking questions about cosmology. But I was writing other books and other things, so never had time to really look at it. And I'd hear some people say, oh, this is all just a psyop that's intended to distract the truthers. And then other people who I respect a lot saying, no, this is a really important topic to look at. And it wasn't until April of 2024, I went to a festival called Confluence in Bandera, Texas, and it was run by Alex Zeck of The Way Forward. And around that time, there was a book that came out, which has become very popular. It's called A Fool's Wisdom by Dr. Stephen A. Young. He's a theoretical physics PhD. Okay, so highly credible guy in the field. And he writes in that book something to this effect. After looking at this question for a long time, meaning shape of the earth, cosmology, I came to 100% knowing that Earth is not a spinning globe, even though I don't know with 100% certainty what Earth is. And he went through some of the reasoning, and I thought that's pretty interesting for a guy that highly credentialed to say he looked at this for years and was coming to that sort of conclusion. And then I also found that many people who were questioning topics that I discuss in my medicine book called An End to Upside Down Medicine, those who are questioning whether viruses exist or whether there are other reasons people get sick that are non-viral. Many of the people in that camp were saying to me, Mark, the logical fallacies that you have identified and summarized in your book, An End to Upside Down Medicine, I'm telling you, it's the same logical fallacies in cosmology. And the way I would describe it to you now, Charlie, after having gone through these exercises, is that there is a great potential for deception and for misunderstanding innocently. I think there's both. Some people are innocently propagating a narrative, not realizing it's false because they just believe the assumptions. Other people are nefariously doing so. But there's great potential when things are at the ultra small scale or at the ultra big scale, because we're never validating things directly. I'll give an example with regard to viruses. What is the claim made in medicine and virology? There is this particle. It's an obligate intracellular parasite. It gets inside of a host cell. It replicates, it bursts out of that cell, goes into other ones, does the same thing, and in so doing creates very specific physical disease symptoms in that person, and then that particle goes from one person to another, causing the same symptoms. I just described something very basic. No one has ever seen one part of what I just described. The belief in viruses is all based on indirect evidence. It's a much longer discussion, but it's the same thing with cosmology, where people are making inferences. And the logical fallacy that I'm seeing appear everywhere, it's called affirming the consequent. Very important. It appears in politics too. Basically, where people are jumping to a causal explanation of something and leaving out other possible models. The way it goes more formally is, if X, then Y, Y, therefore X. More simply put, if it rains, the grass outside will be wet. Second statement, I observe wet grass outside, therefore it rained. Why is that such a big problem? Because wet grass doesn't necessarily indicate rain. There are many other reasons. There could be wet grass, sprinklers, dew, parts of biology we don't understand, children running by, pouring buckets of water on the grass. So another way to put this is, just because a model can adequately explain an observation doesn't mean that model is correct. So we see this everywhere where people say, oh, we observed this thing and here's a model that can explain it, therefore that model is true, when there could be many other models. And that's really the crux of this whole thing in cosmology, medicine, and beyond.
I had a chance to meet Alex from The Way Forward at an Acapulco. I liked him right off the bat, and Confluence seems like a fantastic event, and had all the had Dr. Andrew Kaufman with me as well. So it's like I had the virus guy, the no virus guys, the terrain guys there, and this is something that I'm kind of late to the game, I guess, and I didn't really think too much about viruses, no viruses, in the same way I didn't think too much about the shape of the Earth until the last couple of years. And I understand there's this belief that maybe it could be you want to split the conspiracy crowd in half and get them fighting amongst each other, and certainly the shape of the Earth would be something that you could do that with. Mm-hmm. But man, I had an experience that was, I suppose, is like a science experiment on myself, and I don't know that it necessarily proves anything. But during a DMT session on the beach in Acapulco at night, the final time through, the guy I was with said, "This time I want you to do it, but I want you to keep your eyes open, and I don't want you to lay back. I want you to stay seated, keep your eyes open, and try it that way." And when I did, one of the things I could see was a very faint grid come out, almost out of the sand, and it extended to the horizon. I looked as far as I could see. It extended even back through the back of the sky. I looked up, tilted my head up, looked up. I could see it everywhere. I had this very unusual feeling. It was like a knowing that I was looking at the inside of a dome. I was looking at the firmament. I was looking at something that we were in an enclosed system, and that I could see almost like a CAD computer design when they're making, I don't know, Pixar movies, and they have the character, but then they layer, add onto them, and before the final piece where they put the skin on him, he's just a grid-like structure. And it felt like I was looking at the universe that had been peeled back one layer, and I was just seeing this grid, the sort of the architecture of it, the underneath system I was seeing. And when I got done, I looked at the guy I was with, and I said, I saw the grid. I saw a grid, And he said, that's why I asked you to keep your eyes open, because everybody that had smoked this particular strain of DMT was seeing the same thing. And after that, I really started to question a lot, and including the shape of the Earth. And I always have. I mean, I'd already had problems with NASA, and I know that their stories don't add up, and the moon landing is nonsense, and all this. So it wasn't as if I was a normie, but I wasn't quite. Dave Weiss is at the conference too. He said, hey, let me talk to you for an hour, about the shape of the Earth and everything. And I love Dave, and I'm open to all of it. But after that, I felt like I saw things in a different way. What was your feeling before you got into this, and how did your opinion on things like that change after writing this book?
Well, let's see. As my journey has progressed from books 1 to 7, let's say, my earlier books, I would have referred to flat Earth as a theory that we have overcome in science. That was something I used to say as an example of an old paradigm that we overcame. And I compared it to the paradigm shift in regard to consciousness, because my books are about the idea that consciousness does not come from the brain. I said, this is like a scientific revolution, just like we used to believe the Earth is flat now. So I was saying that sort of thing. Right. And then I came across Dave Weiss's work a few years later, probably 2021 or something. And remember thinking, okay, he makes some interesting points, but the number of assumptions he's peeling back, like this would take me a lot of work to really dive into. And it wasn't until 2024 that I went deep into it. I think one of the issues, it's almost like a marketing and branding issue with this topic, because there's a tendency to jump quickly to just the shape of the Earth. And to me, it's about the nature of the cosmos itself. It's about Earth and its place in the cosmos, and what is the cosmos. Because the conventional model is that there was a Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago. unimaginably long ago. We don't even know what happened last week, let alone 13.8 billion years ago. And scientists are gonna say with certainty that that was the event that started the whole universe, which led to billions of years of things moving around in this massive cosmos, where Earth becomes a spherically shaped object revolving around the sun, or actually free falling around the sun at over 60,000 miles an hour. You need all of these things together. And so that's what I try to do in this book, is to break down each piece of it. So Big Bang, also heliocentrism, which is the idea that Earth revolves around the sun. This was the Copernican revolution, and Galileo allegedly proved this. We could talk about it. Actually, he didn't prove it. He was just engaging in this logical fallacy of affirming the consequent. But so there's heliocentrism. That's a big part of this. Does Earth revolve around the sun, or is Earth at a central place? And you could have a geocentric model where Earth is at the center, but Earth is a sphere, but it's at the center.
Thanks for watching that clip. If you want to hear the full episode, go wherever podcasts are served, search for Macroaggressions, subscribe to the show, and also make sure to give us a 5-star review if you think we've earned it. Thanks, everybody.